I'm very curious about what you're saying before. You said, so if you master or if you speak English very well, you don't want to try to speak or like that.
Okay. Um, there's a theory about language learning that says, okay, first of all, um, this theory is about getting like the 100% like most optimal way of learning,
Yeah.
and it's not something that's it's not something that like is suitable for everybody. Because the idea is essentially you spend a ton of time immersing, uh, like learning to hear, learning to read,
Mhm.
and you don't output, you don't speak or write for a long time. Um, and the thing is that most people, a lot of people who are learning language really want to speak with people.
Yeah.
So if that's what motivates you, then definitely speak to people.
Mhm.
Um, because the most important thing is to actually do the work. Like if um, if just like listening and reading is boring to you,
Mm.
then you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
But if you like get excited by talking to people, you'll do that and learn that way.
Mm.
But the idea about avoiding speaking or writing early on is you can sometimes form a bad habit.
Mhm.
Um, like you might not know the proper pronunciation of words,
Mm.
or you might you might use like a phrase that you learned like too much. Like you might always use that phrase because you never like learned anything else beforehand. Um, your the more you do something, the more your brain gets used to doing that same thing.
Mm.
And so if you're doing something wrong over and over and over again, then that becomes a hard habit to break further down the line.
Mm. Mm.
So the idea is that it's easier to wait until you're already very strong in the language, and then uh, you should start learning to speak and write. Um, Essentially, like you already know the right thing to say in your head. You
Mm.
just have to practice actually saying it.
Mhm. I see. Okay.
Now, once again, I don't think it's the necessarily the right course for everybody.
Mm.
Um, some people talking to foreigners is what motivates them. If that's what motivates you, then do it.
Mm.
Um, or some people, like maybe you're learning for your job, and so you have to talk as part of your job,
Mm.
then once again, you have to do it. So don't worry about it. It's not a, um, essentially, like if you have like all the time in the world, like, oh, I'm just like for example, me, I'm learning Japanese just for fun.
Mm.
Um, I don't need to learn Japanese.
Mm.
Um, so if I don't speak very much, that's not a big deal because one, honestly, I'm kind of shy. Like the main reason like I can like speak with you with no problem
Mm.
is because we've talked a lot before,
Mm.
and also like on YouTube, I know like you have like hundreds of people that are watching your channel, but
Mhm.
I don't know them, and they're all in Japan. So I don't have to be shy because I'm never going to see those people.
Yeah, right. That's right. Okay.
Now, maybe in like a year or two, when you become a huge YouTube channel, And like I go and visit Japan, like people stop me like, "Oh, you're on high five." And then I'll be like, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed." Oh man, I did that whole video where I told you what means.
Yeah.
But yeah, for now, I don't need to speak Japanese, and it will be a very long time before I do need to. So I'm mostly focusing on listening and reading. And when I can get to the point where I can kind of think in Japanese, then I can focus on speaking, like saying my thoughts. At least that's the theory. I'm not a language teacher, so take that with a grain of salt. Like maybe it will work. Maybe I'm wasting my time.